Welcome to Sports News. Super Eagles coach Sunday Olise has added Arsenal FC young star Alex Iwobi to the list of invited players for next month's friendlies against Democratic Republic of Congo and Cameroon in Belgium. Iwobi, who trained with the Nigerian under-23 squad ahead of the African Games qualifying return leg match in early March, is eligible to represent Nigeria despite featuring for England at youth level. The world's football governing body has already clarified that the 19-year-old can play for the team as it did not feature for England in an official game. The NFF has now received from the English Football Association a list of 7 matches that Iwobi played for England at youth level, none of which was an official game. Meanwhile, the national under-20 women's team, also known as the Falconets, will leave for Kinshasa on Thursday for the first leg of a 2016 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifying fixture against the Democratic Republic of Congo. Coach Pt.4 has picked 18 players for the game on Sunday at the Tata Raphael Stadium in Kinshasa. Chinaza Uchendu, who scored for the Super Falcons at the 11th African Games in Brazzaville, tops that list that also includes goalkeeper Sandra Chichi, defenders Olubumi Elijah and Ugochi Emenayo, midfielders Joy Bokeri and Tessie Biawo, and forwards Chingwendu Ihezuo and Uchenna Kanu. In their second qualifying round fixture, the Falconets thrashed their Liberian counterparts 14-1 on aggregate, winning 7-0 in Monrovia and 7-1 in Abuja. In Europe, Swiss authorities have approved the extradition of Venezuelan football official Rafael Esquivel to the United States as part of an investigation into suspected corruption in world football. The former president of the Venezuelan Football Federation and member of the executive committee of the South American Football Confederation was arrested in Zurich in May along with 6 other officials from World Football body FIFA on a U.S. warrant. He has 30 days within which to appeal against the decision by the Swiss Federal Office of Justice to allow extradition. The U.S. indictment accuses Esquivel of receiving bribes worth millions of dollars in connection with the sale of marketing rights to the Copa America tournaments in 2007, 2015, 2016, 2019, and 2023. That's it on Sports News. Back to Ijoma with the rest of the news at 10.
Two Al Jazeera journalists jailed in Egypt for broadcasting false news have been freed after receiving pardons from President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Mohammed Fahmy, a Canadian, and Baha Mohammed, an Egyptian, were among 100 prisoners who were released. Here's Cynthia Are with more.
Thank you. It's indeed a fantastic day. The journalists were sentenced to 3 years in prison last month after a retrial. Prosecutors accused them of collaborating with the outlawed Muslim Brotherhood after the overthrow of President Mohamed Morsi by the military back in 2013. Then the president of the Republic of Congo, that's Denis Sassou Nguesso, has announced a referendum on changes to the constitution that could allow him to run for a 3rd term in office in elections next year. The 71-year-old, who has ruled oil producing in Congo for 31 years in 2 separate spells in office, is banned by the current constitution from seeking another term in office. Also today, Pope Francis has called for further action on climate change, saying that it was a critical moment of history on the first day of his visit to the United States. Speaking to a crowd of more than 11,000 people on the White House South Lawn, the pontiff said the problem could no longer be left to a future generation. Finally, splits within the EU on the relocation of 120,000 migrants have been further exposed as leaders gather for an emergency meeting in Brussels. Slovakia is launching a legal challenge to mandatory quotas that were passed in a majority vote on Tuesday. Hungary's prime minister defended its democratic rights and proposed a radical budgetary revamp to raise funds. That's the foreign news wrap-up. It's back to you, Ijoma.
Thanks a lot, Cynthia. And the main news again. As Muslims celebrate Eid al-Kabir, the President Muhammadu Buhari has ordered the armed forces to secure areas vulnerable to terrorist attacks. While felicitating with Muslims on the Eid celebrations, the President also assured Nigerians that the days of Boko Haram are numbered. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Honyaso. You have a good night.